Hey there, it's MetaMicro again. Sorry about a little bit of a delay. It's all good. It's the second show, so there's bound to be issues along the way. And besides that opening song, boy, I tell you, that gets me pumped up every single time. Let me welcome you to the show. It's a show. This is Synthesizers and Spaceships, a show about composing electronic music, playing around with synthesizers, and the game Star Citizen. If this is your first time here, do me a favor and follow the channel and do what you do. You know what to do. So you can catch all the future episodes and we can grow this channel a little bit if you're having some fun. So let's see. I see a couple familiar faces here. Okay, so all right. So the word did get out a little bit. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. If you're watching the replay, then welcome as well. I'm glad you're here too. It looks like the live shows, Friday night's going to be good for me. Friday night's 5 o'clock Pacific. So in the future, hope to see you then as well. I want to get at least one good show in a week and maybe some just open air time on maybe a Saturday or Sunday. And we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, I hope you're having a great day. It's kind of stormy out there. This is a live show, so I encourage you to hop over, doing it the wrong way, over here and participate if you like to. And let's go on to it. I got to pause for a second here and let you know what the show's about because it's a new show. So this show, what I do on this show is I take scenes from the game Star Citizen and I compose cinematic style electronic music in real time to those game clips right here with you using these synthesizers in front of me and around me. And then I talk about sometimes some DIY projects for musicians and also building, useful stuff like MIDI controllers. And I'm in the process of building a synthesizer right now. So that will probably work its way into here at some point. So, yeah, for today, I am going to compose to a clip from YouTube user Retro Wrath. And when I saw this clip the first time, I was just like, okay, this is neat. I just instantly kind of had a feeling of what I wanted to do with this. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I want to let you guys know, thanks for all of the, the good cheers for my first show last week. And believe me, you guys are the inspiration. You guys, the players, the Star Citizen creators out there, you guys are the ones that are inspiring me. I watch your stuff and it inspires me, and you guys are the ones that are helping this gaming community be what it is. So thank you. And if you would like me to look at some of your gameplay footage, or if you got a beat on something it might inspire me, by all means put it in the comments below and I will be on it. So let me do a quick flight check here. I got to check a few things around me. I have synthesizers around me. This is obvious here. You can see synthesizers to my right, and down below you can see my hand on the synthesizer in front of me. It is played. There you go. And all these synthesizers are ready to go. I've already set up the sounds that I want to use for this particular composition, and we are going to do what we can do to see what happens here. So let me jump over also and let you see what is happening more on the back end. This time through, last week the composition was just completely free flow, open, improvised in the moment, and that's really good fun. And I didn't use this DAW or DAW. Some people call it a DAW, and it doesn't matter how you say it. And this particular DAW is Bitwig Studio, and most of the time I'm just using it to control the synthesizers around me as far as the MIDI connections, how it's all networked together, if you don't understand what MIDI is. And also it allows me to essentially scroll through the different synthesizers. Allows me, this controller keyboard right in front of me allows me to essentially have multiple sets of hands if you can, because I can't get to everything all the time. So I can play this synthesizer. If you can see the cursor in front of you, and I can play that synthesizer, and it's that one's pretty quiet. But there you go. It's making this little sweepy kind of sound. And so that's what's going on. I will, through this song, I will kind of be flipping through here and adding parts in and out, and pretty much changing the arrangement of this song as we go. Last time, like I said, we were kind of doing a free flow thing. And that's fun because I compose music to kind of like storylines, and that inspires me when I see it. But I also remember I also compose to locations like cities. There's a city called New Babbage, and I have a theme that I'm working on for that particular city. And that way, when you hear that song, you like, oh, that's New Babbage. That's what we're going for. And what I'm doing today is more like a character's theme, like. Think of Star Wars and Luke Skywalker, and every time you see Luke Skywalker come on the scene, you hear like dun dun da 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 dun 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 dun. That is the Skywalker. That's Luke Skywalker's theme, and so characters can also have this kind of music behind them, and you recognize who it is. And that's what we're doing today, because I really like the idea of retro wrath. Like there's a character out in the verse that you don't cross this guy because, well, retro wrath. All right, so let's I think that's the gist of what's going to happen today. So let's just go ahead and pop it in there and see what's going to go on. All right. And I'm going to let this flip through a couple times because it's not that very long of a clip, because I'm going to be working on the arrangement here and what's going on. All right. to do it again. That went pretty well. That was something. It's always fun to play. All right. Yeah. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about composing music as like a character development device? Does that sound like something that would be interesting to talk about a little bit more later on? Or is that something that makes sense to you? Give me some feedback. I'd love to talk about these things. Again, this is what I love to do, is making these little songs to these things that inspire me. So what I want to do, I think this time through, is I want to explain a little bit more about the synthesizers and kind of what just happened a little bit. And to do that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and explain what an arpeggiator, I can't even say it, arpeggiator is. And what arpeggiation is like these synthesizers are playing a pattern in the background, and you probably heard this quite a bit. And that's an arpeggiator. It plays that pattern over and over, I originally put that together because I'm a big Cocteau Twins fan. If you're familiar with that band, it's kind of a shoegazer dream pop band from the 90s. And they had a lot of these ostinato, that's what it's called in music theory, ostinato kind of rhythms like that in the background, just going. It sounds a little bit like Tron to me as well, too. Like there's like that Tron Legacy kind of. So there's all kinds of interesting things you can do with the sound as a performance, even though it's just a repeating pattern. It has like all kinds of like emotion you can infuse into it by manipulating the synthesizer. So like that. And I thought you might be interested in kind of what was going on in the background. Also, of course, in front of me, you had this sound going, which is playing this is playing a combination of the Behringer DM12 in front of me, and also it's playing over to my right the Korg MS2000. And that's what you're hearing. Let me just turn it up so you can just hear the Korg. So I was manipulating this as well as we went along, and this song was much more structured than the last week's episode for sure. But I mean, this is the difference between kind of just getting in there and improvising on the spot, because that's kind of like the first step, for me at least, is kind of getting in there and getting a feel for the scene and what kind of sticks and what kind of resonates with me. And then I'll take those chords, or like this might get my attention, this kind of, and I go, okay, that sounds very kind of bunker rating, kind of propelling. And so what else is going on? So that keep in mind, again, this right here is not a synthesizer. This is just a MIDI controller keyboard that is actually controlling parts of Bitwig. And so that's the next thing I want to explain to you is in front of me is a physical hardware synthesizer. And so is this, and of course all this stuff is physical hardware synthesizers. But there's another kind of synthesizers that I will be playing along the way, which are VST instruments, and that's what's going on here. This is actually, it's a virtual synthesizer that isn't within Bitwig Studio, and I'm able to, and now, once I have everything set up and I've kind of programmed it the way I want, I'm playing it like any other synthesizer and adjusting whatever I need to adjust, just like I would in the physical world, except, I mean, that's what this keyboard is doing for me. This is just pretending to be essentially the physical manifestation, I don't know, of the synthesizer in the real world, so I can manipulate it as I go along. And so what else is going on over here? I played, this is the Behringer MS1. It is a tribute. Let's be diplomatic. It is a tribute to a very popular synthesizer, and pretty much was just making clicky noises and doing kinds of stuff like that. It's obviously it's running through an effects processor over here to get all that delay and stuff, just to add kind of that texture. And what else? We got the Arturia Micro Freak, which is right here. If there's any instrument that I'm going to mess up with, it's probably this one, because it's got a touch sensitive keyboard, and playing it tends to kind of it's a little difficult sometimes, but it's worth it because the expressiveness of this keyboard, by me touching and running my finger, all that variation of sound is because of my finger rubbing it in a weird way. And also, you can do all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what I was doing. So I think that's enough for the synthesizer tour for this week. And so I want to get on to some other stuff. And yes, I have a few. There's a few questions. Okay, so awesome. There's a few questions. I would love to go over that with you. Let's see. A3ATOT says, that's exactly the music I imagine Star Citizen should have. Fits perfectly. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Big Red 1978 says, CIG needs to hire you. I don't know. I don't know if I want to turn my hobby into a job. But I mean, that's very nice of you to say so. I'm glad that the music is making you happy. Shadow Sky, this is really good. We would love to have more to listen to while flying through the void. Oh, I get you. Yeah. You know, and I've thought about that a couple times. A natural conclusion to what I'm doing is to actually set up some sort of radio station or something eventually. I have other projects that are going on with kind of generative electronic music that is much more mellow and ambient, kind of background-ish music for elevators, as they say. And yeah, I might do that in sometime this year. I mean, it's on the list, I think. There's lots of things I'd like to get done this year. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of electronics projects that are in the works too. As I mentioned, I'm in the middle of making a synthesizer and creating that, and it's interesting. I'm making a controller keyboard that is like this, except I'm making it, and I'm a percussionist, actually, not really. I'm a synthesist also, but I'm a percussionist. I'm a trained percussionist, and I want to make a mallet controller. So instead of having keys, it will have like a xylophone, and I'm going to use that as a controller, because I think I'll get all kinds of new kind of music composition inspiration from playing a different instrument. That's usually what happens. But the synthesizer I'm building is going to go into that, so it's going to be standalone synthesizer as well. So that's kind of the news as far as I just kind I went right from the questions and comments right into the future here. But yeah, so that's what's kind of going on with that. So let me go over here and make sure, let me double check on a couple things and make sure that there aren't any other questions that you've got or comments. All right. So let me briefly go over to here and let you know that if you're interested in playing Star Citizen, if you want to play Star Citizen, then please use this code that's down here. This code is in front of you. Use this code, and that will get you 5,000 extra credits in the game. It helps me out do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, and you know, and there's other. The best thing you can do for me right now really is to follow the show. That would be fantastic, and share these videos. I know you guys are. You're on Facebook, you're on Reddit, you're on wherever you're gathering social media wise. I know you're parts of groups and have friends that are interested in synthesizers, electronic music, and especially Star Citizen, and they might be interested in this kind of stuff. So, you know, give them a tip, let them in give them a clue, let them know, send them this way, because I'm having a good time, and I hope you're having a good time with this stuff too, because I want to continue making it for you. Let's see, and of course, yeah, if you want to also feed the robots and help me build my robot army, there is more direct support links below in the description, along with other stuff like a gear list. I put that in here from last week, so you can see what this stuff is and look it up for yourself if you're really interested. Yeah. All right. I think that's about it. You know, I want to thank everybody who showed up. Thank you a lot. You know, I wasn't expecting. Yeah, I had my hopes up, but I wasn't expecting quite the response. So, thank you all on multiple platforms as well. So, so yeah, especially thanks. Let me give a quick shout out also to Retro Wrath. Go out and check his channel, because there's all kinds of stuff. I could just pretty much just compose music to his stuff, and and that would be fantastic. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just letting you know that if you enjoy that footage that I just composed music to, there's all kinds of stuff that I think is even better work from him. Especially his much more recent. I think he just did a bunch of upgrades so on his gear, so he's broadcasting in like really high def. I think 4K and all kinds of. Go check it out. All right. So thanks everybody who's participated. Yeah. Let's wrap it up, and this is MetaMicro. I'll see you around the verse. Until next time, my friends.